This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi.
A Southern California judge was convicted Tuesday of second-degree murder for fatally shooting his wife during a domestic argument while the couple watched television in their Anaheim Hills home. Orange County Superior Court Judge Sheryl Ferguson, 74, was found guilty in the 2023 killing of his wife, Sheryl Ferguson, who was 65. The jury also convicted him of a felony gun enhancement, and he now faces up to 40 years to life in prison when he is sentenced coming up on June 13th. The verdict came after just one day of deliberation, so they knew what they were doing. Ferguson, who had taken the stand in his own defense, admitted to the shooting, but claimed it was accidental. Just a whoopsie-doo. And she's dead, After the decision was announced, he was allowed a brief embrace with his son before being handcuffed and taken into custody. That'd be a difficult one. I don't know how. I don't know. I couldn't go hug Dad if that had taken place.
And I think he was right there.
Yeah.
I think he was around them at the time this happened.
That's a weirdly enmeshed family if they're still hugging. He said the defense would appeal the conviction. I respect the jury's verdict, Talley had said. At the same time, we all know that juries don't always get it right. I still believe in Jeff. The case shook Orange County's legal community, where Ferguson had worked for decades, first as a prosecutor, then as a judge, beginning in 2015. The trial was moved to Los Angeles Superior Court to avoid conflict of interest, with Judge Eleanor J. Hunter presiding. A previous jury was unable to reach a verdict in March, resulting in a mistrial. There are no winners here, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer said during a post-verdict press conference. Justice was achieved, but I'm very sad for the Ferguson family. According to prosecutors, the fatal shooting occurred on August 3rd of 23, following an argument about finances that began at dinner and escalated at home while the couple was watching a TV show, Breaking Bad, with their adult son. Oh, that's wow.
Of all shows to be watching.
Yes, of all shows to be. Well, I guess you could do Murder, She Wrote, but Breaking Bad just gives it a little more of a today spin.
Yeah.
They said Ferguson, who had been drinking, made a gun gesture at his wife during dinner. At home, she reportedly challenged him to use a real gun. And he did. Ferguson claimed he was removing the weapon from his ankle holster because you need the gun on your ankle holster at night when you're watching Breaking Bad.
And he's 74. So for him to just say he is in danger, to have a gun on your ankle isn't easy for a 74-year-old to get to.
Are you that paranoid that you need
You'd have to sit down, lift your leg up, just, and to be watching. Now you're home with your wife, you're just watching TV, and you still have your gun on you.
Some people are so insecure, till death. Yeah, I mean, does that make you feel big? That you got, I don't know. Wow. I'm not an anti-guy. I own guns. But I'm not fucking strapping them to myself and walking around the house and watching Roseanne or something.
I just couldn't imagine.
It's like, what?
We're watching Breaking Bad. Let's just watch some TV with my wife and my son, and I'm going to just have my gun strapped to my ankle. I just think that's so strange.
The insecurity.
Because I guess for me, it doesn't seem comfortable.
That's would be my first thought.
You can't cross your legs at your ankle I don't know.
Anytime I'm watching Dateline or something, and it's and they have an ankle bracelet, and they do the shot of the ankle bracelet, I'm always like, God, that would be uncomfortable. I would not get used to that one. You have to, it's waterproof, right? You'd wear it in the shower, in a bath, at the beach.
If you can make it to the beach.
If you can, no, you can't go to the beach. What if you had a beach in your backyard? What if you were there? And yeah, but I wonder if you can't take a bath, if you can only take a shower, or if you you put a shower cap over the bracelet.
I don't know. I've never really thought about that.
I don't know.
I mean, I've never had to think about it.
Yeah. And they're
Simply
so
because
big,
I've never worn one, believe it or not.
I'm surprised how large they are to this day.
Yeah, very large.
Is it just because nobody wants to go and invest in more sophisticated, like
Probably.
smaller ones. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, they're uncomfortable. Who cares? If you got it, you deserve it.
Exactly.
That sort of thinking.
I bet you're right.
Yeah. Ferguson claimed he was removing the weapon from his ankle holster to put it away, and it accidentally discharged. Okay. Immediately after the shooting, both Ferguson and his son called 911. Ferguson also sent a text to his court staff that read, "I just lost it. I just shot my wife. I won't be in tomorrow. I will be in custody. I'm so sorry." You might want to reword that. Like the word accidentally might be key at that moment in time.
Yeah, he just says, "I just shot my wife."
And why is the first thing you're thinking of is texting your staff? If you just shot your wife, it's like, well, let me call into work tomorrow for this.
Exactly. Because he probably had cases he was overseeing.
Well, I get it, but I think like someone else could relay the message at some point.
And his wife is laying there dying or is now dead in the living room.
Honey, I'm so sorry. Hang on, I got to text work real quick and let them know I'm not going to be in tomorrow. Okay, what is it? Hey, you there?
Dang it.
Damn, I missed my window. Hey, you want to go get a little Burger King before they get here? Because I'm a little hungry and parched. A Whopper sounds great.
Just bizarre.
Well, that would actually be Lori Vallow who did that. And that's a true story. His son, Philip, testified that he wrestled the gun from his father and attempted CPR on his mother. Body cam footage showed Ferguson crying and telling officers that he had killed his wife and that everyone, including his son, would hate him. He reportedly asked to be convicted by a jury. Authorities later found 47 firearms and over 2,600 rounds of ammunition.
26,000.
In the Ferguson home. His penis measures half an inch.
Right?
Prosecutors. And that's both circumference and width. It's like the top of this pen.
That's it.
That's why he needed 47 firearms and 26,000 rounds of ammo.
I guess my guess, he's a gun collector.
Or I'm going to go with tiny penis.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with tiny dick.
I don't understand why you would ever have 47 guns, 26,000 rounds of ammo. Like this guy had to have been, my guess is extremely paranoid or something. Like and maybe because he was a judge, he felt like people were out to get him.
I mean, within reason, folks. I know. I don't know. Guns. I mean, I don't own them because I'm collecting them as a sport. I don't go shooting much ever. I know how to use them. When I do shoot, I shoot pretty good for like not practicing ever. But I don't. They're not displayed like these are my prized possessions. It's like they're in safes or they're hidden somewhere where I can access them and no one else can.
Which is good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. So it's hard for me to relate to someone's like hobby or passion if it's not my own. But I get some people, that's their deal. They grew up with them, maybe hunting or this or that. I get that. I grew up around a lot of that. You'd be surprised I wasn't into it because that's all I grew up with. But some people, that's their thing. But at some point, can we grow up too and go, you know, I don't need 47 Lego sets, like I don't need 47 guns, you know? Like, oh, you like that? Yeah, have a couple, you know? Why do you need 47?
And that one detail in this story makes this not so surprising that someone would end up shot in his house.
And why is the son wrestling the gun out of dad's hand after he just shot mom? Like, why? That doesn't scream to me that it was an accident.
Exactly.
Or did he think like dad's going to shoot himself now because this just happened?
That could have been it too.
I mean, I could see that. Like he's pulling it out, the gun, not his, tiny penis. And you know, and it goes up and it's like, oh, fuck. And it's like, oh my God, I just shot my wife. It's not worth it. Boom.
Well, the fact that they'd been arguing, an extended argument that started at a restaurant they were still arguing at home. She's like, go ahead. And then he like fakes like with his fingers, like he's going to shoot her. And she's like, get a real gun. And he did. He got his gun.
I'm going to guess it probably wasn't the first time gunplay occurred within this relationship.
And don't you also think They were drinking. They said they were drinking at dinner. I just have to wonder if drinking wasn't an ongoing problem in this
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
Because it does sound like two people who have been drinking. Now, I don't know. I don't want to do any victim blaming. I don't know. This is all just speculation. But, if they're arguing at dinner, they're still arguing at home. And then she says something like that. If she did, that's, their word. She's not here to defend herself.
Yeah, that's a big if, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it almost sets it up like this is a really it makes it look like it could be a horrible coincidence. You take that element out of this, it's just him pulling a gun out and shooting her, or accidentally shooting her. I mean, I don't know. That element of the story, honestly, is probably better. They should have just omitted it.
But I also can see at 74 years old, him getting to his gun that's strapped to his ankle is not as easy as you and me reaching down to our ankles. My mom cannot reach her feet.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard for her.
Well, apparently this guy could, because he's keeping a gun there.
Yeah, and he's also been drinking. So maybe when he's trying to get the gun, but to accidentally shoot a gun, wouldn't you have, if you've got the gun strapped to your body, wouldn't you have it? I don't know a ton about guns, but don't you lock them somehow?
If you have 47 firearms, 26,000 rounds of ammo, and a gun strapped to your ankle while you're watching Breaking Bad in your own home, I would think you may have some knowledge of gun use and how they operate. Where
one would think,
where the odds of accidentally firing would statistically be dramatically lower for someone who knows how to use firearms.
It's just horrible, horrible. And, it's like you could just divorce. Just go your own ways. If you guys are fighting like this and,
At 74, I think go your own way means going into a grave for them. And it's like, what are you going to do after this? Prosecutors emphasize the judge's extensive firearms training. Just like I said, arguing that the shooting could not have been an accident. This was not an accident, DA Spitzer said in a statement. Ferguson was trained to never point a gun at anything he didn't intend to destroy. Ferguson, who had been free on $2 million bail, had not presided over cases since his arrest in accordance with California's constitution, which prohibits judges facing felony charges from hearing matters in the court.
It'll be interesting what his sentence is. And at 74, my guess is whatever that is a life sentence for him.
I'm going to guess. I mean,
because even if they gave him 10 years and he's in for 10 years.
I wonder if there is any history of anything. I'm gonna go with liquor. I'm gonna guess there's a history with that, but I'm wondering if there's any history of violence here, reported or unreported. There is an element where I could see this really being a horrible, horrible accident.
Now, the son was there and he witnessed the whole thing, and I have the feeling, if he didn't think it was accidental in some way, his dad just shot his mom. I couldn't imagine defending my dad if I thought my dad intentionally did that.
And giving a hug.
That's the one part of me that makes me think
like
might have been a horrible accident. But even then, if it's a horrible accident, they were arguing about stuff. He was he was being threatening to her, and he reached down to get his gun. My guess, to scare her.
And you know what? At 74, that's not something you're just going to pick up one day and go, you know what? I think pointing a gun at my partner sounds like a fun idea. I'm going to show her. I mean, unless you're getting into like dementia territory, where...
And that could be too.
Yeah, where who the hell knows what's going on in your mind. But if you do that, that's not like in a vacuum. That's something that you've probably done before and have issues with. I don't know. The son being there is interesting, though.
And
either way, it's probably
like, my God, how traumatizing.
I can't imagine the therapy bill That's one where the insurance companies are like, no, we're not going to. We give you 3 a year.
Too expensive.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe we'll give you 4 because this is kind of a extenuating circumstance. And then when you don't get any help because we don't allow you to have the therapy that you so desperately need, and you end up doing horrible things. Yeah, it's not anything it would do with us. That's another rant. We were just talking about Luigi Mangione off the air.
Yeah.
So yeah, that came to mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's just, I think this whole thing is just really sad. You know, he'd had a very respectable career, it sounds like.
Yeah.
My guess is they'd been married for a very long time. And to have it all end like this.
I want to know more facts of the case, honestly, before I can like really get a good opinion, because I want to know all those background details, because that's going to tell a lot. But
and I just wonder too. They said they were drinking. How much had he drank?
Yeah.
Not that doesn't excuse it.
No, it does. But I could just see them both being kind of drunks. I mean, this is just my conjecture. You don't have the balls to do it, or whatever she said. Why didn't you point a real gun at me? I don't know what the hell the statement was, but something like that. Like, why would you say that? And it's not victim blaming. I mean, just like, why would you say that? Like, or unless he hasn't done it, or unless he's threatened it before and never done it. I mean, I'm going to guess if you're pretending to shoot your wife, again, probably not like a new habit. I'm guessing it's probably been throughout life you've mimicked shooting your wife. So,
yeah.
And that's why she's said, you don't have the balls to do it, or whatever she said to that conjecture. Yeah. God.
And I think he's drunk and he's like, I'll show her my gun.
2 things. Just don't have the gun attached to your body, and don't watch Breaking Bad at the same time. I think maybe Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, might have been a better option.
The latest true crime stories, expert breakdowns, and shocking twists, all in one place. Press subscribe now to the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.